Who is going to be the title winners for the 25-26 season, people? We do not know. What we do know is there are 4 contenders. So we're going to have a conversation with the reps of those teams, and let's see how this is looking. People, sit back, relax. Got a little special for you on the weekend here. Let's go.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kop-Ish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
2 legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Yes, people, big up yourselves each and every time. Make sure you do what you need to do. Slap that like button, subscribe if you're new. And I can already see the chat. People, you know we're respectful here, right? You know how we go. All opinions are welcome. Everyone's welcome. No disrespect. Banter's cool. I know banter's cool, but no disrespect. You lot know it is. Mods, look out for that disrespect if it comes. I don't think it will, because our community is good like that. But just remember, people, I'm keeping an eye on you. We've got a special panel for you. We've got a guest who'll be joining us a little bit later as well. A little surprise for you lot, repping City, which will be fun as well. I've got my boy Errol repping Liverpool though. What's going on, G?
What's good? What's happening? I'm all good, you know, bro. Literally just been downstairs in the studio before doing a little bit of a watch along, and then thought, yeah, we'll just stick around and then we'll jump on with you lot and just see what the title chat's doing. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Come on. Igal, what's going on, G? Big up representing Arsenal, of course.
I'm chilling, man. I'm excited today. We should be hearing the news that Yokara is official, and I'm just waiting for them to show him holding up the shirt.
Yeah. I think everyone's been waiting. Even the non-Arsenal fans have been waiting for this. It's been taking this time. But big up, G, for jumping on and repping Arsenal. And Joe, big up yourself, G. Debut on Kop-Ish. Big Chelsea fan. Welcome, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on.
No, it's good to have you, man. And I've said people repping Chelsea, I believe, are definitely part of this title conversation without a shadow of a doubt. World champions. They could say that for 4 years now, which is actually insane.
Mad.
So, yeah, let's get into it. Right. I'm going to start with Liverpool purely just because we just played. And Errol, it seems like Twitter's going a little silly at the moment. It's not a real place. We know that already. But it seems like all of a sudden we're not a good team anymore. How you feeling, G? How you feeling after that AC Milan game?
It's a nothing burger in it. There's nothing in it. It's a pre-season game. Look, you know, that first starting 11, you could probably say, yeah, that's resembles a team that you could imagine Liverpool playing at some point. Obviously, there's still some kids in there. We had Rio in the mix there. We had Tyler Morton in the mix as well. He comes off after 30 minutes. There's a roll-on, roll-off situation. When do you see that in professional football? Look, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people on Twitter that are going into a false outrage and a bit of a meltdown are doing it because obviously there's a game that's just been had and there's a little bit of engagement to kind of capitalise on. But when you look underneath the hood of the performance in that first half, I thought Liverpool looked the stronger team, gave away a soft goal, but they're the type of goals we've given away historically over a number of years where teams have just cut us open pretty much like a hot knife through butter. So it's not like this is a new thing. It's just something that is kind of built into a bit of our weaknesses, if there are any really in that Liverpool defence at times. Wasn't the strongest Liverpool defence either, but ultimately, you know, when you've got somebody as explosive as Rafael Leao, you are in trouble if you give him too much time and space to run into. So big. I think one of my big takeaways is Slot's just been on the back of an unbelievable run back end of last season. And if you go into this season thinking that your shit doesn't stink, then you're probably going to walk into some trouble at some point down the line sooner rather than later. So I would rather he will learn more from the players that he wants to work into his squad a lot more off the back of a loss. That means absolutely nothing. That has no bearing on the season. It will not materialize into anything. He will learn more about the players what's needed, the tweaks to the system that need to be worked on over the next couple of weeks before we get back into the Premier League, than if we'd have just beat them 1-0 and it would have been a great goal and everybody's singing, you know, Florian Wirtz's praises or Kirk's praises. That's good from the optics, from a fan perspective, but it doesn't necessarily give the coaching staff and the backroom staff a great deal to work with. So there's a lot of learning to be taken from that. So in my mind, I'm not mad. I'm not moved, but I'm not mad.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. And I mean, it's pre-season. We don't need excuses. We don't need anything like that. But Milan have been over there for a week longer than us, so they're more acclimatized to the weather. So we had to have the cooling breaks. The players look knackered. Yeah, man, I'm not fussed about it at all. I don't think today's defeat means pre-season is just about the manager learning which player might be ready, who he was on the, you know, like kids. You know what I mean? At Rio 16, and he played, and he was one of the best players on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's just about getting used to new teammates, fitness. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody cares about results during preseason, I think they're going a bit too far. You know what I mean? Let's you get back to 10-0 in every game, then.
As Joe will tell us in a minute, the only preseason result that matters is the Club World Cup. Am I lying?
It's not even a preseason because it's postseason technically, but yeah.
But City wanted to treat it as a preseason and got dumped out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Chelsea took.
That's
Chelsea
not my problem.
No, it's not. But Chelsea took it seriously, and you reaped the reward. You get me?
Yeah. No, I didn't get to watch too much of the game. I watched a couple of the goals that happened. I watched the Leao goal, and of course. But I guess my question for this, and like I do a show with the Liverpool fan as well. So like I'm pretty like up to the knowledge of what you guys are doing and like how you guys set up and all of that, right? So I guess my question is like, don't you feel like there was always going to be kind of an imbalance on that right hand side again? Like, especially with Konate not really. I didn't think Konate played today, did he?
He played second half.
He played second half.
There was going to be like an imbalance, right? I didn't get to watch the whole game, so I'm sorry. Like, I was out in the mountains riding my motorcycle. Like, I was oblivious to all this. So like, but like me and my co-host, we always argue about like what would this team look like with Frimpong and Konate on that right hand side. I just find a slight imbalance now with the way that you guys are playing with Wirtz, with the midfield. Like, it's kind of imbalanced in my opinion. But I don't know until I see all the pieces together.
But they're not done. They're not done.
I was going to say, and we still haven't seen Konate next to it.
Yeah, that's my point, right? Like, I just want to see all the pieces together. But there was like, I felt like that's like a sign there that you might need another right-sided center back. Like that might be the sign to like say, hey, we might need to get a backup for Konate, because if Konate's not here, this is a place that we can get targeted. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just going to say this, Drifty. People told me preseason results don't matter, but preseason preparation matters. And in these kind of games, that's the main thing. You see Szoboszlai playing very well. I thought he was one of your best players in that game.
He was good.
I thought that youngster, what's his name, Rio from Chelsea previously.
Rio,
he looks really good. And I think because of the fact that you have so much turnover in your attack, he's gonna be given an opportunity next season to be part of the squad and be a lot more important in your team going forward. As for the overall result, the main thing is you guys really were outplaying them. They just caught you on the counter a couple times, and a goalkeeper mistake led to the fourth goal. I'm not going to sit here and banter you guys, but the main post that everyone's upset about is the fact that Arsenal played them the other day, and they did not look half as good as they did versus you guys. Maybe it is the fact that they played just a couple days ago versus us, that they have fresh legs. When was the last time you played? Because they played against us on Wednesday, and they couldn't sniff our goal.
Yeah.
The thing I'd say about that, though, at the same time, is Allegri is probably written the riot act after they get beat by you. It was a 1-0 game. I think he's ended up doing some mad penalties afterwards for whatever reason. But
you guys did penalties?
Pardon?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We just did straight 90 minutes. Yeah, so I don't know what that's again. I don't know what that's all about. But I think he would have probably written the riot act and was like, look, as you said, the results don't necessarily matter, but getting that winning feeling within the squad and trying to improve game on game has to be a must for AC Milan. So they're probably, in terms of match fitness, probably a week ahead of where we're at in terms of how they've acclimatized to being over in the Far East. And then on top of that, the expectation is we're going to start to play as though we want to be winning games. Whereas I think this Liverpool, and you could see it, there was a very clear directness to their attack in everything that they did. Their big chances came through counters. Whereas Liverpool, when we kind of got into that final third, we broke it down and looked as if to say, well, we don't know who offers what at this particular moment in time. We know what Salah does, but what does Vert do through the middle for us? So let's try and feed them a little bit and just see if he's got anything off the cuff that will just happen. Will he make something happen? Will it be magic? Rio on the left, we know he's going to be direct, but we know he's young. He's not going to be as strong as Tomori, but he'll try and beat him and get him to the byline. So there wasn't a very clear direction for us to really attack them, other than unless we overutilize Salah. But why would we start to overload Salah with high work rate at this point in a preseason? It just doesn't make sense. So that's where it fell short for us today, just knitting in that final third.
I think the one thing that you can pull from this is like what young players could be a part of this team later in the future. Like that's the one thing that you can always pull from preseason, in my opinion. It's like is Tyler Morton, which is a name that I've heard quite a bit from my co-host, look like he could be a fit. Rio, I watched Rio a bit like before he got to you guys. So like I know how twitchy he is. Like he is ridiculously twitchy. Like his agility and quickness is
he's I can't believe he's only 16. He
just needs to like up here, just calm down just a bit, like slow down up here, because everything's moving at the same pace, including his feet and his brain is moving all at the same pace. They're all going really fast, so he needs to slow that part of his game down. So
he'll learn that. That's what games like today are good for.
To see that type of like skill at that age though is great. Like you could see what he's capable of, right? So like that's the thing. It's like what type of young players do you see coming in and potentially helping you in the roster? That's like a big piece for preseason, in my opinion. Like for us, like I know Josh Achimpong, like this 18-year-old right back / center back, he's going to be a big part of our season next year. Like he's only 18, 19. He's going to be a big part of our season next year as a rotation. Like that's like the biggest things that you can pull from these types of games, right? It doesn't matter what the score is, but can you get some rotational pieces that you didn't even know about that were just, or maybe you knew about a little bit,
The only preseason game I'm going to look at and I'm going to say, you know what, this is going to give me a better grasp of what Liverpool are doing is the Community Shield. Because then I would expect you guys to play close and near to a team that you would play in the Premier League in the Community Shield. And that's where we're going to maybe see the best of Liverpool. But hey, it's not against a team that I don't think can hurt you as much, because Eze most likely would be on Arsenal at that time. So I don't know what they're going to do.
They already got another player, by the way.
Who?
Got this player called, his name is Evan Gassant. He's like a striker / like left winger type player from Nice. He scored like 20 goals last year in I think something like 20 goals somewhere in League One. So it's like they scouted a good player already for the replacement.
All I'm saying is that's the only preseason game.
He could play striker. That's a difference.
That's the only preseason game I'm going to look at Liverpool and say this is probably near enough close to what we're going to see in the Premier League.
I'll be honest with you. I actually don't want us to. I don't want us to.
Take the community.
I don't want us to win that game. I don't want to win. Like the Community Shield is a jinx. It's a jinx. Like I don't want to win. I don't want to win that game. I really don't. Like it's a curse.
Give Palace the second trophy of their career, of their history.
If I'm not mistaken, only 4 teams.
Only you would call that a trophy
after winning the Charity Shield in 30 years.
Technically, it is.
You would call that a trophy.
But technically, it's counted by the clubs. That is the truth. Even though we don't count it as.
Thank you, Earl. I don't want to give him too much energy, but thank you, Earl.
No, but you know what I mean.
That's the mood that I was giving it. You
don't think Crystal Palace, who's only won the FA Cup in their whole
life. It would be big for them, right? It would be big for them. Don't get it twisted. I just counting it as a trophy is.
Hey, Pep Guardiola counted it last year.
Whatever, man. I'm not about to argue with you. Let's move on.
All right, fair.
Yeah, Joe, to be fair, though, look, at the end of the day, over the course of the 90 minutes, that second half team, I'd be very, very surprised if we ever seen a second half team like that take the field in any serious game. Even in the League Cup, I wouldn't expect a disjointed second half team like that. Simicast playing as a centre half, that can't be a thing. That can't happen. I think one of the things that I struggled to wrap my head around was obviously it's quite clear that Gakpo's going to play as a left winger for us this season, which I'm fine with in practice going in the next couple of weeks and months, whatever. But when we had Ben Doak, who's all of 5'0", and you had Frimpong, who's all of 5'6", 5'7", as your wing options, the only one really with any real physical presence was Gakpo, and we didn't choose to play him through the middle. Now, the goal that we actually go on to score in the 93rd is because Gakpo peels off towards the back post and gets a head on it. But it was Gakpo that was putting balls into the box on a number of occasions. And I was like, bro, if that's the kind of break glass option that we're going with at the moment, where we're spamming balls into the box, it should be you that's on the receiving end of them, because at least you've got a little bit of height and presence to go up against one of these centre halves. Whereas the other lads just didn't look like they could get up in the air for it. So I think you kind of just got to take it in isolation. You've kind of just got to wrap it up in its own little thing and say, do you know what? Yeah, we don't take the W, but we'll just move on from here. It's a lesson learned, and we'll kick on. Is this going to hinder our ability for the rest of the season? No. Is it going to hinder our ability to go into the transfer market? No, you guys haven't played yet. McAllister, he's on an individual training plan. You know, Endo's still a little bit injured. He's carrying a little bit of a knock. Gomez
he's going to be a big part this year, because he's going to end up being a part this year based off of like
there is one thing I'll take away from this game. With Gomez, was reported injured from Ben Jacobs before the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You guys need another center back.
You guys need to buy a center back.
Yeah, and if it's Mark Guehi, that's solid. But I wouldn't say just Mark Guehi alone. I would also take it to the level, say, if you want to compete on all fronts like you guys always do, are any of your young academy center backs ready to also jump in?
Nalo's probably the only one, lad, and I'll be honest with you, Nalo's probably... Nalo isn't the level that Kwanzaa was at the season that he broke through. And Kwanzaa had a very good debut season by all accounts. He probably dropped off last season or to an extent. But yeah, you know, I don't quite think Nalo's at that point yet where we could really trust them. Maybe some Carabao Cup games, maybe round 2, 3 of the, or 3 or 4 of the FA Cup. But yeah, I think we definitely need to go back into the market for some defensive reinforcements.
Did you get 2 centre backs or 1?
It all just depends on.
I'd get 2.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say get 2, but at the same time, I think we might have to just see what comes towards the back end of the window to see if we actually can get anybody, or if there's anybody that's going to be available to go and get 2. But I can see the second one being like a Kabak type player, a Ben Davies type, and that Phillips type level of player that is just going to be a body. But more
why didn't you guys just keep Sepp Van de whatever?
Got both for him though, didn't we? Did we sell it to, is it Brentford that he went to?
Yeah, we got about 26 more.
Yeah,
I know, but it's like that's pretty much what you're going to spend on somebody like that, anyways. You know what I mean?
As long as we get Guehi, I'm fine. I just want Guehi to come through.
They want the pure profit for profit and loss, so they can spend more money.
No, I can totally understand where you're coming from. I'm just like if you're getting a rotational piece, I mean, I'm just kind of curious. Oh, he wanted to go? I don't know what's going on in the club. I don't know.
Hey, you still have Kanate and Van Dijk. It's just, if anything happens to them, Guehi would be huge for you guys.
Yeah.
So the quicker you guys bring him in, the better you guys are equipped for any emergencies.
Can I ask something real quick? I feel like there's an obvious question to ask here. Like, you guys have other things that you guys probably like need in this window, especially like if you lose Diaz. Like, I get the whole Isak thing is like undeniably you have to go and do it, right? Like if it's there, you have to go and do it. But doesn't that kind of feel like you may have to sacrifice some other areas to make that happen? Like at all? I'm just curious. I don't know what the finances really are here in this case. But like
not the centre back. Not the centre back. I think we'll be fine at centre back if we buy. Maybe we won't be able to buy a left winger. A lot of people are getting a bit too carried away because we're spending money thinking we could get Rodrigo as well. That's crazy. I don't think we'll go that far.
I guess I'm just more curious than like trying to banter here. Like that's more.
Yeah. No. Really I think we'll get another centre back. I think we'll get Isak and a centre back. Hopefully it's Guehi, and then I think we'll assess it in January afterwards. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but that's. I think that'll be the last 2 that we bring through the door, and then we'll wait till January, if anything.
It depends. To be honest with you, I think it still depends on the amount of outgoings that we get and the volume of them. If we only get rid of a Diaz and a Nunes, then yeah, I'd agree. There'd probably be 2 more senior players, 1 defensive. Obviously, hopefully Isak in attack to kind of bolster the squad. But if we was to get rid of Diaz, Chiesa, Nunes, and then you start looking at the likes of Stefan Bajcetic. He might go out the door. There's probably about another 3 or Tsimikas.
Elliot.
There's Elliot. There's probably about
Tyler Morton.
There's probably about 6 or 7 players that
I'm sure if you make the Elliot sale would be huge for everything. I'm sure,
but
it's their academy player. You know,
yeah.
You'll get pure profit on it, and it'll make it real easy to get whatever you want.
And again, it boils down to, obviously, if the price is right for those players, it gives us the ability then to maneuver. And we don't know what last-minute deals are going to start popping up in the players that might become available towards the back end of the window. And I think, like Chiesa last year, it was a market opportunity as they seen it, back end of the window, and he just snapped it up for 10 million. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a pro that kind of needed a second chance or a bit of a redemption arc, and Liverpool just say, you know what? For the price, we can take the risk on it. Let's just go and get him, because we've actually already offloaded 6 or 7 players, and we still need to actually keep a squad that, as Gal said before, can compete on 4 fronts.
Yeah. I think Rodrigo's not ending up at any of our clubs, Chelsea, Liverpool, or Arsenal. He might end up at Steve's club, Man City, if they sell Jack Grealish, in my opinion.
I mean, you know, that's a good little segue. Welcome, Steve. Big up yourself, bro.
Hey guys, you like?
Yeah,
well,
Happy to have you. You know, Steve, I wanted to ask this question when you got here, because it's crazy, and I haven't been paying as much attention as obviously you would have been. City are so quiet in this window. I've almost forgot you're in the league, if that makes sense. It's like I'm so used to City buying players, and you haven't done anything. Talk to me, bro. What's the feeling like at City? Is there anybody coming in? Is there anyone leaving? What's happening?
The goalkeeper situation's changing. I think they could sign Trafford from Burnley. We had a buyback clause on him anyway. Edison's going to stay. I think he's his last year, so I think Edison will be number 1. He'll just shadow him for a year. I think Ortega will go out. Grealish, his time's up. Him and Pep have not really had a good relationship last couple of years for whatever reason. You know, whether it be Jack discipline-wise, Pep just not fancying him, etc. And I think the cup final against Palace, when he played so well in the semi, didn't start him in the final, and then he brought on Echeverri instead of him. I know Grealish weren't happy with that. So I think Jack needs a move. I think he needs to freshen himself up now. I think somebody will get a good version of Jack Grealish if they can get him at the right money. I think they've got a great player on their hands, but it's just Pep's the king at Man City, and you've got to toe the line. It's like Fergie at United. You've seen big players like Jaap Stam and that get bombed out, and not because they wasn't good enough, just because they did things that the manager didn't like. And City are in a rebuild. What people need to remember is that we won 4 league titles on the trot. So, you know, we fell off last year, but did we fall off? We finished 3 points behind Arsenal, and we were terrible. You know, Liverpool ran away with it, but we just quietly doing what we need to do. The backroom staff's all changed. Pep Linders is in from Liverpool. The set piece coach from Liverpool's in there as well.
That's that's still strange as hell to us over here in Liverpool. I can't believe Pep wanted him, to be honest.
I mean, the people he had last year, Pep, they were literally, some of them couldn't even speak English. I think some of the players wasn't really. I think what happened with City last year, I think the morale around the camp didn't look the same. We've had this vibe going for like 6 or 7 years where it looked like a fun place to be and everything was bouncing and that. And then last year, it just looked really flat.
Do you know what? Do you know what signifies? Now, do you know what signifies that for me though? The point that you just made, bringing back Kolo Touré. To me, that was a very astute appointment on the basis of it's felt too serious at City for probably the best part of 12 months, as you say there, Steve, where how do you keep that intensity? How do you keep that level? How do you keep motivating yourselves to go? And sometimes you do just want to say, right, well, remember, there's an element of fun to be had in all of this. There's still a camaraderie, but there is an element of fun. And then because it wasn't going your way last season, you did tail off quite significantly by your own standards. I think Pep's looked at it and went, right, well, we need to tweak things tactically, but I need to get those vibes back. And that's not to just say that Kolo Touré is just going to be, you know, the adult entertainer for them, and he's going to be putting on clown disguises and all the rest of it. But in terms of his energy and that infectious personality to beat in and around on a day-to-day in the training grounds and stuff like that. I think he's a really key piece to that kind of bringing back that energy and that vibe that you kind of alluded to.
One thing that you know, the kit man that used to go when we win the trophies, he's sliding around the floor on his underpants and all that. Well, he left, and Brandon's a good friend of mine, and other people in the club left that you don't see. And he just said it became, like you said, very, very rigid and very, very
militant.
Regimental.
Militant, yeah,
regimental. And what happened was the year before the year before last when we won the title, I think City thought, oh well, we've got a good side. Instead of taking a step back and going, yeah, we've won 4 in a row, but this team's getting old. We need to tweak it. And we tried to go again last year. The Rodri injury was massive because everything we do goes through Rodri. Whether it's the ball coming from Edison, it's Rodri. You look, people slagging Phil Foden last season. Yeah, he dropped off. But the midfield that was trying to play the ball into these tiny spaces was Kovacic, Gundogan, and Ruben Diaz coming from the back. And no disrespect, they can't do it. In pre-season, Reinders and Rodri, first couple of games, Phil Foden's got 4 goals because he's sliding the ball in the brave. It's like you having a world-class number 10 and having a crab playing behind him like an N'Golo Kante, who's very good at what he does, but he's not going to put that intricate ball through into the space. So what teams were doing was they're going, let Kovacic have the ball, let Akanji have the ball, let Diaz have the ball. If we sit deep, make sure Haaland's got 4 men round him. Man City ain't doing nothing. It's left to right, side to side. And that's what happened. But now what you've seen is you've got Ray and Cherky, Reinders, Rodri. You've got Aitniori on the left-hand side linking up with Doku. So going forward, pre-season-wise, we look like we've got loads of options and it looks great again. But we've still got that elephant in the room at the back. One long ball down the middle of us, and we're finished. So anyone with pace, it's great. But I think he needs to address it with the right back situation. I feel like we're going to get a right back soon, but it's mad, mate. It's mad.
Can I ask you a question?
Questions.
Yeah, it is. Now go on, Gal. I think you wanted one as well. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, Steve, do you think the issues can be resolved, or do you think it's going to be something where it's going to be a transition? You're going to have to see how you guys can play with the new players, and this year you're not necessarily putting yourself in the forefront of the title race.
No, I think what Manchester City's plan is every season is stay on the coattails till the last 10. If Man City are 3 or 6 points off anybody with 10 games to go, I fancy us against anyone because we turn it on last quarter. If we're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 behind, if we seem to be a little bit deflated, but I feel like the mentality in the club in them last 10 games, we can turn it. And I feel we've beat some of the best sides, the best Liverpool's ever had to offer, the best Arsenal's had to offer in the last few years. When we've gone toe-to-toe or we chased them, we've won. But last season, we were too far off it. But I think this season will be okay. I just feel like I'm happy Arsenal are getting the laudits and Gyökeres and the pressure's there. I'm happy Liverpool are spending a few quid. The pressure's there. We've had to deal with that pressure the last 5 or 6 years. But I'm happy if someone else wants to take it over and us just do our business quietly. I'm happy with that. Because last year, nobody expected Liverpool to win the league. No one. Everyone was talking about Arsenal. If Man City slip, Arsenal will win the league. That was what everybody thought. And all of a sudden, Liverpool's winning and everyone's going, yeah, they've not played anyone yet. Yeah, wait till they play them. Wait till they play them. Before anyone realised what was going on, they're fucking miles ahead. So we can't let that happen again. But they're strong. They're looking great. Wirtz is a fantastic player. I wanted him at City. And Arsenal, even more pressure is on Arsenal now. Because they've got the man, the gunman they want. They've got the man. And Arteta knows that I've had a fucking lot of time. I've had a lot of excuses and I've had a lot of near misses. You can't be 4 in a row seconds when City's winning 4 in a row. It's just not going to not be allowed to.
No, but Steve,
let me ask this. Let's get to the heart of the matter, yeah. And I just want to ask very genuinely for obviously I'll ask even Drifty this as well. What is your flaw this season, points wise? What is the flaw? Because that will tell me whether you man are in a title race or not.
Our flaw, in my opinion, is the defence.
No, not your flaw. Not like what's the weakness? What is your flaw? So are you an 82-point team next season?
Oh, minimum points.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the minimum
what is
point?
your flaw next season with the squad that you currently assembled?
72, 75.
I wouldn't even look at it on a points thing.
Oh, you've got to, Steve, my friend, bro. You've got to, and the reason why I
feel like that's a little too early of a question, though. Like that's an early question, bro. Like we still got a month in this transfer window before we actually ask that question. I think personally, my thing with City is really just two things. Okay.
Well, I'm asking for you of Chelsea as well, though, Joe.
I'll answer that question in 3 weeks when I know what the rest of my window is going to look like. That's the way I can answer that question. I can't answer that question right now.
We've all got to get 80 minimum, bro, surely.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
We all have to get 80 minimum. Chelsea, Liverpool,
No, I
Man
100% think we're getting over 80 this
have to get 80
I
minimum.
I think 100%.
I
got one question for Steve.
We're getting 90. I don't know about you guys.
I got a question, bro. One, Steve, don't you think like that last year was a bit of burnout, like across the entire team? Like it just felt like because you didn't like renew in the beginning of the window. Did you feel like it was just like an overall burnout from like top to bottom kind of thing?
I think the club let us burn out because we got that league the season before. We were very good at the end of the season. We weren't good throughout the season. We were good near the end, and then they didn't strengthen, so they put extra pressure. Pep thought this 21, 22 man squad could cope. As soon as Rodri came out against Arsenal early in the season, we realised we couldn't. And it was just a race then. It was a panic station. So it was our own fault for taking the eye off the ball, which Man City are usually quite good at replacing players. Yeah. And I feel like January, we had a bit of a rush window where we needed bodies and they had to pull the trigger on a few targets that probably weren't meant to be coming in that January. And but I feel like we've got to win the league. We've got to win the league this season, and Pep knows it. We've got to win the league this season, and so that's what
I got one other question. I got one other question behind that, right? So now that you've refreshed, right? Do you believe the mentality can be translated with this new group of players? Because there's a lot of new players and a lot of new faces in this team right now, right? You're asking for the same kind of mentality from 2 years ago, but it's a lot of new faces in this team now that haven't seen the title yet. Right, you do have a few pieces that still have, but do you think that mentality still can shift over, like especially year one with all these new players?
Well, I look at the team and people need to forget, some people forget that we have got Rodri, we have got Reinders, Cherky, Foden, Erling Haaland, so we ain't a bad side. And Pep Guardiola is massive to it. So if anyone wants to write City off, then that's fine by me. But I feel like we can get the mentality back. I think we've got enough players and a manager that knows what it's like to get there. It's just that we're getting this panic stations now. All the new generation of City fans that jumped on this bandwagon a few years ago are only used to winning. So last season when we're not winning, they're coming to the surface. They're talking shit online to our players. They're messaging people's wives and fucking bullshit. It's something I hate. Yeah. And people need to relax. But the core of the club know that we're in good hands with Pep. And we've just got to keep going. Don't let the outside noises get in. And Pep will know exactly what he needs to tweak. And the City fans panicking about defenders and all that. Rightly so. It's a massive, flaw for us at the minute. It does look like we are vulnerable at the back. But you're not going to play every week against teams like in a friendly that got no pressure going to bombard you. In the Premier League, 90% of the teams don't do that. Do you know what I mean? But I think we'll get it right. I think if we get a right back, we'll be very, very more balanced. And I think maybe
like a natural right back, not somebody to play right back.
Nunes is okay.
Yeah,
but okay is not good enough to win the title for me.
Right.
Steve, I still feel like you guys have a great midfield, great attack. Your team as a whole defensively is nowhere near as good as you guys have been those last 4 title teams.
Yeah, I just wonder
how you guys had a solid base. You guys had a solid base defensively where I never felt like you were going to ever concede more than 2 goals and lose a game. Now I feel like you're going to have to outscore teams, and it can get taxing when you have to outscore teams on a consistent basis. And it's not a thing where you can lean on your defense as much as you used to. And that's the only thing that I think separates you from maybe Arsenal and Liverpool right now. You still have the good midfield, the good attack. It's just that defense can be suspect at times. And it's not that the players are not good. It's just the total as a unit has not played with each other enough. They don't know each other as well as the previous team, where everything was kind of like everyone knew what they were doing. They knew how to organize themselves. Now it's just like maybe that will take time. Maybe, but with the players and profiles you have, some of the young players, it might take them a couple of years, and some of the older players, they might be at the back end, and you might need to recycle and get that whole thing going in a year or two. And I don't know if your defense is ready yet.
Yeah, but regardless, we can't count Pep out. Regardless,
Ruben. Yeah, Guardiola and Diaz, that partnership is it started to blossom a little bit. I think he's solid. Guardiola is a great player. He's a centre-back, but he's played left-back.
Definitely.
Now, Aït-Nouri's out there on the left. We don't have to worry about that. I think the left-hand side, anyone breaks on us down that left, we're all right, because Guardiola can come across. When you're coming down the right, you've got a problem, because Ruben Diaz is not the fastest in the world. But this is where last season we didn't have a Rodri. People were breaking on us last season. There was no one there. No one. You got an Ilkay Gundogan treading water. You got a Kopish treading water. Now you've got the size of Rodri. Even in pre-season, you've seen it. For me, it just give me thank God Rodri's back. You know what I mean? Whereas last season it was like shit. We're on the run here. You know what I mean? And that's what
he's very imposing, isn't he? Like he's a unit as well. He's like
everyone you speak to in the game, they say, "Fucking hell, Rodri! You know who's toughest player he played in midfield? Rodri." We've just got to, don't forget, he's had a bad injury. We've got to get him up to speed. He come off in pre-season. He was feeling it. But Reinders as well just looks the perfect guy alongside him to just... With City last season, I could tell you exactly how we're going to attack. It was so slow. The teams were letting Ruben Diaz and Manuel Akanji have the ball on the edge of their box. This season, it's going to be Akanji, Diaz, fuck off and stay in your own half. Give the ball to Rodri at the earliest opportunity. Get Reinders and Cherky buzzing around him. Get Foden in the pockets. Let's play fucking football. Last year, from watching I'm a team win 4 in a row to watching that, I'm an older City fan. I've seen the dog shit you've ever seen, worse than any of you have ever seen. I've seen. So I'm patient. But guys next to me were having meltdowns because we've seen this great brand of football and it's literally gone to shit. But that's football. We've seen Liverpool go from fucking Ricky Lambert and people like that to fucking Mo Salah. You've got to be patient. Things happen, you know. Arsenal the other year were running around with Pepe and people like this, and you think, but look at them now. They're a unit. They're a team. Chelsea's the same. It's just football's football. And like you say, I'm just fortunate enough that we've got Pep, and we know that Pep will be angry from last season. He had his off-field issues, etc. No excuse. We weren't good enough, but I feel like Pep's got to get it right. Pressure's on him.
You think you get Rodrigo? You think you get Rodrigo?
I don't know. I don't see where he fits in because he seems to be.
We've got the requirements, lad.
Yeah, we've got Cherky, we've got Vino, we've got.
He'd be a.
I mean, they really like Doku over there.
Play on the left.
Yeah, but he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna play Doku.
Yeah.
And Rodrigo's better than Doku, but Pep's saying, look, he's getting into it. He's getting into it, and fair enough. We'll see. Savinho, to be fair, shouldn't have played as many games as he did last year. He was brought in from Girona just to not play that amount of games, but we needed him. I think Savinho is a good player, but him and Doku last year was so frustrating, and there was no end product. Haaland was in the box. You got the best number 9 in the world who scored 300 fucking goals in 313 games, and nobody gives him the ball.
Any service, no service.
No service.
They're really young as well, though, isn't it? I think Doku's only 22, Savinho's 20. Like they're young wingers as well. Do you know what I mean?
But Cherky, to be fair, Cherky just looks like he's fucking. He's on it. Like, come on, every time he come on, he's dangerous. He's got a little bit of arrogance about him. He's a little bit of a maverick. People are saying Pep's not going to like it, but I don't think this kid gives a shit. He think he's there to play football, and he looks like he's exciting to watch. And like you say, I'm excited about watching Cherky because last year we had a Kevin De Bruyne who was clearly, past his best, who was trying. But it's when you see a great like Kevin De Bruyne can't do things he used to do, you've got to take a step back and say, you know what, it's time for him to go. City's done it with Yaya Toure. Watch Yaya Toure running 70 yards and scoring, and then he'd run 4 yards and fall on his ass. That's when you know it's time to go, So
do you know the point that you was making there, those in terms of obviously patience and it takes time and then things change in football? that was literally the point that you seem to just glaze over when I was asking you about your points, because City transformed it for me. The league in the last 4 or 5 years, when you went on your 4-peat and you won it, you didn't win it with less than 90 odd points. So to me, that's how I've looked at the league for a number of seasons now. If I want to be considered to be in a title race, I need to break that 90-point barrier, and then you can talk about who's going to be in that title race. Steve framed it as, I can go the last 10 games where there's 30 points left up for grabs, and I back my team to come out on top against any other team. But ultimately, if you're not looking to get to between 90 points, 87 to 90 points, I'm not looking at you as title contenders this year. And I'll be honest, I think Liverpool do hit that 90 points. I think our floor, as the point I was making, is 90 points this season for us. So if anybody else is in that 90 points club, then that's who I'm considering to be our title rivals. And that is purely because City broke the mold. 10 years ago,
we'll be there. We'll be there.
10 years ago, you might have said, 85, 82, 83, whatever. You can have a conversation for it. But the reality is, because of how good City have been consistently, if you can't break that 90-point barrier, you're not in a title race. You might think you are. You might think you've had a good couple of runs. But when you look at it and the finer details towards the back end of the season, you won't be close. I'm telling you. So if you don't back your team to get 90 points this year, don't tell nobody that you're in a title race. That's all I'm saying.
Interesting.
Well,
interesting. I never looked at it like that. I don't. Do you know what? If you said to me,
it's like that
every year we've won the league.
But it is. Factually, it is though.
I don't think people look at it and predict what.
I've never set season and gone, I hope this season we get 90 points. I just go, I hope this season we win the league.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And that's the same.
Whatever it takes, right?
The ambition is to win. And the point, so to agree with that point completely. So we finished on 84 last year, but had Liverpool needed the 90 and had those 4 extra games where we needed to win, I think we could have got them. But at the end of the day, we didn't need to get 90 points and break that barrier. So we were just happy to win by any means.
Earl,
win on 84
all you
points.
needed was 76 to win the title last year. Because it was 75 to win the title last year. That's it. That's all you needed. Because the second place team was, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know, like, to say football is going to be this linear, okay? It's never that way, bro. It's never. It's
not about it being linear, though. But, bro, there's 120 odd points to fight for every season.
Earl, the reason why I'm telling you this now, is because there's 4 teams sitting here now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not a 2 up at the top that's going to dominate. It's 4 teams that are sitting here now.
But do you back your team to get 90 points, though, Arkid?
85 to 90, yeah. 85 to 90.
You're not in a title race. You're not in a title race.
If you believe that, that's fine. But what I believe
based on what City have done for the last 5 years,
whatever is in front of us, and whatever is the necessity of trying to win this title can be done with the bare minimum of 76, like it could have been this year, and it could take 105. It just depends on the season. But with the way that it's more competitive, in my opinion, compared to those specific years from time ago, 4 or 5, when it was City Pool for 5 years. It's more competitive. So the likelihood that you're going to drop points in these other games that you weren't dropping points is much higher now. That's my point. Like, you can't just expect it. Oh, it's going to be 90 points. It may be, but to expect it is just assuming football. And
I do see where it's coming from. I do see where Joe's come from. As teams get better, it'll be more difficult to continue to always get that many points. So I get what you're saying, Aaron, in terms of like...
Why though? Because when City have beat us on 99 points and we've had 98 points, so 2 teams have both broke 90 points and been in a title race. But it was only
but remember, the others were so poor back then, bro. Arsenal weren't great back then. Chelsea weren't great back then.
The teams in the mid-table to the top 4 are also really good. So it might be lower points totals for everybody across the board.
Your Villas are better now. Your Brightons are better now. Do you get what I mean? So it's harder to take
points. I agree with Steve in them. I think it's, forget about how many points. What position do you think your club is going to be ranging in?
Exactly.
And in my opinion, I think that's the better question than points. But hey, Arsenal, you guys know what we're looking for. We're finally trying to get over the line. Unlike you guys who've recently won league titles, we're trying to just win our first league title in 20 years. So,
well, Gal, talk to me then, bro. What's the situation at Arsenal? How are you feeling? You've got your striker now. You know what I mean? There's no more excuses for Arteta. How are you feeling? What's it looking like for Arsenal this season?
I'm happy about the director of football that we have. Andre Bert has come in, massive difference to Edu. And we've come in, we've done. When was the last time you seen Arsenal get 6 transfers over the line and they're looking to get a 7th in Eze? I feel like we've done and addressed a lot of our issues, be it the backup goalkeeper, defensive cover, 2 midfielders coming in to replace Jorginho and Partey, a backup and somebody who can threaten to play on the left wing in Madueke, striker for the first time in a long time in Gyökeres, and now we're looking to go get Eze, probably the final piece before the window's wrapped up, for in the case that we don't make any more sales. If we make a sale, maybe we could even get one more. But at this moment,
I think we've
Is
lost
that him?
him.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Because I see here you guys.
I feel like it's one of our best windows ever, and I'm quite excited with the possibility that both Saka and Saliba could be signing new contracts also. So that would just make the window even better.
Does Gyökeres get you over the line?
You guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you're back now. You're back. You did lag out for a little while. Can you hear us?
He's lagging again.
Yeah, he's lagging again. But while we wait for a girl's internet to fix up, does anybody believe that Arsenal have done what it takes to get over the line?
You guys see me?
We can see
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
You're back.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Everything went dull for a second. I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, you're back now though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I was just asking the guys. Anyone else? Does anyone else feel that Arsenal have done enough to finally get over the line? They've got
I don't know.
now.
I just can Arteta get him over the line?
Let me ask Steve. He's seen Gyökeres live, and he doesn't. He out of all of us, he's seen him live. What do you think about Gyökeres, Steve?
Well, if you watch the Big Six before you even signed him, I didn't rate him, and now you signed him, they all jumping on my head, going, "Oh, Steve this, Steve that," because it's Arsenal. For me, I just think he's not the player that that everyone thinks he is. Yeah, I watched him in Lisbon. I've watched him a few times, but I watched him in Lisbon. He scored a hat-trick against us. He should have got 15 goals that game. We were fucking terrible, but he was terrible. He was fucking terrible, and I was like, nah. But listen, I'm willing to be proved wrong on it. I just think there's a mentality issue at Arsenal. It's not all about Gyökeres. It was all about Rice the other year. We've seen all the Rice baby and bullshit. And then last year they criticised. I try and be brutally honest, right? Last year they beat Real Madrid. I said, it's fine beating Real Madrid. Great. You've had your day out. It's fantastic. Go and win the fucking Champions League. No, you don't let us enjoy it. I went, no, you're missing the point. Nobody's going to be talking about you beating Real Madrid if you don't win it. No one's talking about them beating Real Madrid now because they didn't win it. They went to the last game they went against the next game to Paris Saint-Germain. They lost at the Emirates. Was it 1-0?
Yeah.
And they were all saying it's over. And I'm like, you're going to PSG to you've got to back your team. Oh no. I'm not saying it's all Arsenal fans. I'm saying you've got that a lot about them. And then they're in the title race for so long. And people were like, oh yeah, they're in the title race. As soon as they had one little wobble or hit one bump, it was like, no, it's fucked. We're getting Arteta out. They signed Madueke the other week. They're spraying the fucking mural Arteta out. So it's a mad pot of madness over there. 1 minute they're happy as a pig in shit and everything's great. The next minute they're defacing Arteta's face, telling him to get out. It's madness. I just think he's a lot more to do. I don't think Arsenal are very, very far away from winning the league. I really don't. I look at the team and I think, title winning team. Yeah, if Gyökeres comes in and hits the ground running, proves me wrong, maybe. But there's this mentality issue I see every season towards the end when other teams get stronger and start to put runs together. They seem to go the opposite way and it starts to come away a little bit. And that's when everyone's arse flaps.
They've got a weak underbelly, lad. They've got a weak underbelly. Do you know the thing with it's not even the thing with Steve's on it though. It's not even just the mentality with Arsenal. It's not the fact that you've got, because he says he's right, you've got a team that looks on paper that could win the title. For me right now though, it's the style that you're going to play in the next season. That's going to be what kind of gives me any confidence that Arsenal are going to flop again. Because if you continue to play the style that you played 12 months ago,
what style? We never had a style.
No, but they have had the style. They have had the style. Don't chat shit. You've had the style where you've been a lot more pragmatic. You've only really relied on the likes of Saka being the outball and the output for you. I know you've had injuries through you guys through the middle over the Christmas into February period. Fine, I get that. But you were playing with the handbrake on. You were throwing long balls into the box. You were set piece FC. All of these things.
You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous.
It's not because how many goals were you scoring off corners?
Bro, we scored the second most goals in the league. I don't know what you're talking about. When it comes to
before you go, because I have a point that makes sense to me.
Before we get to the third point, Joe, let me just respond to the first two. Steve, I was watching the Big Six, and that's why I asked you. I remember you said you didn't rate Gyökeres on the Big Six, and you want to see if you can prove you wrong. What I want to say about the mentality thing, we needed a striker for a long time that has the mentality that he's willing to go and take the 15th chance and still have his head up and still confident to go and bury that chance. Go on and down 3-1, still say, you know what, I'm gonna take the opportunity and take it on himself. So I'm happy that we got Gyökeres, and I think he will prove a lot of people wrong. As a lot of people have said, they don't rate the Portuguese league, and their performances have not been great. They've been clunky. He's a different type of striker. We've had the Jesuses, we've had the Havertz, we've had all these different types of strikers that are not really the guys who are just going to continue to keep going. He's like Energizer Bunny. I don't know if you guys know the reference. He just keeps going and going and going, like the battery. And then when it comes to the point about the mentality, this is where the mentality shifts. The mentality, in my opinion, shifts similar to how you guys got your Aguero moment when Arsenal first win their first trophy at the Emirates, major trophy, be it the league or the Champions League. You're right. We haven't won the league over the last couple of years, and we've been close. We have a team that's good enough to do it. What's hasn't gotten us over the line, I don't think is only a lack of mentality. It's also Man City were amazing. They chased us down, they beat us to the title, and they took the league from us one time by coming to our ground and beating us. Another time they secured it by overtaking us late in the season. Another time they secured it by holding on to a draw at their ground, and then from there you knew you had the mentality to go on and win it. In my opinion, it's not a thing where it's just a lack of mentality. It's always been lack of squad depth and also lack of attacking prowess. It's not that Arteta has the handbrake off. He did not have them now.
Have you got them now alive?
Yes, now we're gonna have Eze. Now we're gonna have Eze and Gyökeres. Now we're gonna have Eze and Gyökeres. But please don't be disingenuous and say, "Oh, you guys were not playing well. You guys didn't have."
I never said that you weren't playing well. Though. What I said to you was stylistically. Last year, you moved away from your 22-23 style. Did you or did you not?
Because you're not getting. The same way Chelsea will not get defended the same way they did at the start of last season.
Yeah, you can agree that you weren't as quick on the counter as you were in previous years. Like it's pure and simple. Like you can sit there and say that as an Arsenal fan,
100%
as quick on the counter as you were in previous years.
100%, but it's not a mentality
to that for Gyökeres to be successful. That's pretty much all we're talking about here.
No, but the reason why I'm pushing back is because it's not a thing where it's like we chose this by design. It was because of the circumstances. It was not by design. It was not by design. It was based on circumstances that one, we're playing to the strengths of the players that we have. Our defense is a lot better than our attack. Number one. Number two, we've had numerous injured attackers throughout the season that hampered us from playing at our best. There was a point where our best creator was out injured. We were playing Trossard in the 10. There was a point where we
who was your best creator?
Odegaard. There was also
how long? 2 months, if that.
No, he was out for 3 months. He got an ankle injury and he was out for basically 3 months. He missed over 8 league games. Then you had Saka.
That doesn't mean injuries aren't going to happen again, though, right?
Then you had Saka, our best player, also get injured. And I'm not crazy to say everyone here sees the impact that Rodri missing for City made. But when Saka and Odegaard go down, it's like, oh well, why are Arsenal not playing the same? It's pretty obvious why we're not playing the same. But I feel like a lot of people close their eyes at Arsenal's issues last season. We had as much or maybe more injury problems than every other team in the league. But guess what? We don't get the same level of pass that City do because they've won the league the last 4 years.
And respectfully, though, at the same time, I could say that when we fell short, when we walked 21-22, when we lost all of our defenders, Arsenal fans had the most chest saying injuries can't be held as an excuse. You can't use injuries as an excuse. But no, you didn't though, bro. You didn't.
I'll tell you myself, as an Arsenal fan, I'm sorry, Steve, but I wanted Steve's team to lose. I wanted Liverpool to beat Steve's team because I didn't like the fact that they constantly were winning the league, and I wanted.
Which is fine. You could want that. And what I'm telling you is, Arsenal fans didn't give us.
I'm telling you what I said.
Let me finish.
I'm not
Arsenal
going to
fans didn't give us the courtesy.
Let me say what I said. I said at the time when Liverpool had their injuries, it's unfortunate, and you guys missed an opportunity to win the league because of that injury crisis. But other fans, don't hold me accountable for what other fans say. When Liverpool had injury crisis, I said it's unfortunate, and this is why they're not winning it. You can't banter them. I wasn't bantering Liverpool fans for not winning the league because of injuries. Same way, I'm not bantering Man City last year for falling off. The only reason why people were really going at City is because it got to a point where they couldn't win like 13 games in a row, and that's where it got ridiculous. But outside of that, I don't think people were even bantering Man City too much last season because they've seen the issues that they had with their injuries. When we have conversations about injuries, I feel like there's an online conversation and then there's a real conversation.
Oh,
the real
but look, even on No Lie Eli says, we was called the worst champions ever because of our centre-back injuries, and we still ended up finishing third that season. We still salvaged Champions League. Bear in mind, like, I'm just being on, like, this is the wider discourse. I'm not just saying it falls on you, rests on your shoulders. You are not the spokesperson for Arsenal. But there was a lot of discourse online and in person where people did not want to give Liverpool the courtesy to understand that actually the injuries have impacted their ability to pull up a title race or be title contenders. Now, when you've then wanted to use that as an excuse for yourselves, you can't expect other clubs to be like, oh, yeah, no, that's fair.
No, but it's not an excuse, it's reality.
Yeah, but if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Simple
No,
as. Not good
that's
enough
true,
for us to
though.
tell you reality. No, but if it's not good enough for us to tell you our reality and you not saying you personally, but fans online dismiss it, then why would you not expect us to dismiss it when you're using an excuse?
The reality is nobody wants to let other people say this is why they're not winning. They always want to cover it up and say, get over it. But the reality situation is Man City were a better team than us. They beat us. Even with Saliba's injury, even with those things, they were a better team than us. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, what if? It's over. They won. As for last year, you guys won. There's nothing we can do about it. But the reality is...
Was we better than you?
But the reality is...
Was we better than you?
1 second.
Was Liverpool better than you?
Liverpool the best team last year, regardless of injuries. We can't talk about injuries anymore. The season's done. But what we can mention is the injuries is why this team did not perform to this standard. Forget about the league. You can speak about the individual team on why they didn't perform to their standard based on individual issues. Man City did not perform to their standard because some of their key defenders and midfielders were out injured. Arsenal did not perform their attack to their best standard because, one, they didn't go and strengthen to the level needed, and number two, two of their most impactful attackers were out injured. Same way how Liverpool, when you did not win the league the year after you won it, your best defender, one of your most crucial, impactful players, was out injured. I don't expect Liverpool fans to sit here and tell me if you guys had those guys injured last season that you guys would have not seen a dip in your performances. It's just disingenuous. I'm not going to ever do that. And I think there's an online conversation you can have where people are bantering, but the reality situation is both Man City and Arsenal can look at themselves and say they didn't do the best last year due to circumstances that they couldn't control.
You know, I'll give you credit. Yeah, when you take the banter out of it, sorry, Steve. I'll come to you in a sec, bro. Yeah. When you take the banter out of it, bro, I agree with you. I do get what you're saying. I think the only thing is, and Errol, you remember this, the Klopp's last year when we challenged with City and Arsenal, but then we fell off in the last 5 games. I think that was fatigue from emotion and physicalness because we struggled with injuries, but we kept up though. We were still top of the league. We had I think Mo was out, including AFCON, 2.5 months. Yeah. It was a long time, but we were still top of the league. We were still competing.
Bro, we had like a 12-man injury list, and about 6 of them could have easily been in the starting 11, and we were still top of the league up until like March.
Yeah, so, we won the cup with all the kids. You know what I mean?
This is the point that I feel like a gal's missing. My thing is, not to say that the injuries will not impact your ability to perform at the highest level, because I agree. I do think, remove banter aside, I think that is very true. Stylistically, though, how your team sets up your patterns of play, how your team goes on to attack, the way that you actually move the ball through the phases on the pitch, that did change irrespective of the injuries. And that's one thing that we could say. When Klopp had his injuries, he still wanted the way us to play out from the back in the same way, whether it was Nat Phillips, whether it was Kabak, whether it was Fabinho dropping in there. He still wanted the attackers when we didn't have Mo Salah to still attack in the same way. Like, you can't say that the performances are going to be like for like or they're going to be equal to each other. But in terms of the patterns of play, I could still recognise that as a Liverpool side that I had seen play before. Arsenal did like a bit of a 180 and they changed. And again, it might have been to fit the circumstance and the situation at the time. But what I'm saying is that style of how you played last year is not the style that is going to get you over the line, even if you just drop in a Gyökeres to play that number 9 to fill in the hole for you now. That's my opinion.
But Earl, we don't play the same way because depending on how Mikel Moreno's in the team, we play different to when Havertz is in the team. We play different to when Jesus is in the team. And I do think my main point is we can acknowledge that Liverpool were the best team last year, Man City were the best team the year before, but there is things that impede a team from going on and winning. And it's not always just Arsenal don't have the mentality to win because they've not gone over the line. I do think there's things that we can mention and they don't have to be excuses. They're actual valid reasons why. And we don't have to say, oh, well, this is why this team won. No, it's that team won. They were better, but this is what stopped us from performing to our best. And that's where I'm sitting right now. And that's where, and I think when we have conversations about how you guys were performing, 2022-2023 season was our first year. Everyone was shocked. Teams did not respect us. We did not get the same level of defense. The following season, you see the way they defended us. Similar thing happened to Man City when Pep came. First season, they needed to figure it out. Second season, he figured it out, and he started blitzing teams. These things happen.
Yeah, Steve, you was going to say something about the Arsenal thing, bro.
I'm just going to say that with Gyökeres and the way he is, big number 9, you're going to get a lot. It happened at City. Haaland hit the ground running. He was sensational. But it gives you that much pressure because when things aren't going your way, the fans are just demanding that you start spamming crosses in the box because you've got Earl in there. And it can't work like that. And then what happens is Earl in some games, he's getting locked up. You're going to play teams that are thanking their lucky stars. You've got Gyökeres because they can lock him up. They want to fight with him. They want to wrestle with him. He'll spend the game fighting. And you'll be so frustrated. That's when the players behind Gyökeres, like your Odegaards, then have got to step up because there's going to be. It doesn't work where you've got a number 9 and every game he's scoring goals. Even with Haaland at the time, people were getting wary to it, going, "Let's lock him up. Let's lock him up." And I seen City fans coming out going, "We need to drop Haaland and we play better without Haaland," and it was madness. And I feel like something similar will happen. Gyökeres is going to score goals. But there's going to be games where you're going to see Bukayo doing his thing on the wing, and you're going to see Martinelli cutting in or cutting on the outside or whatever, and you're going to be like, your brain's going to be thinking, why didn't you cross it? Gyökeres has made the run, and you find yourself watching the runs, and you'll see him make a run, and Odegaard won't find him, and then all of a sudden they'll be going, he's making the runs, he don't find him. And that is going to happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen. There'll be games early in this season where the conversation will be, Arsenal are not finding him because with Kai Havertz, Arteta's a pet man. Arteta likes keep control of the ball. He will happily have the ball being passed around the edge of that box at the top of that thing, right? What you get with Gyökeres and Haaland, if you cross the ball in and early and the ball gets cut out, you get caught on transition. Then all of a sudden you can overload and next minute you're getting caught on the break. Happened a lot. So I feel like this thing where a lot of people think, oh, we've got Gyökeres, that's it. I don't think it will. I think Arteta will know what he has to do. I think Arsenal will have to change certain things. And I feel like it can't just be all on Gyökeres. There's got to be times when Gyökeres is wrestling, getting locked up. The men behind him, your Odegaard's got to step up from midfield. And anyone that thinks that Odegaard's going to get the ball and there's going to be loads of space behind and he can play that nice ball through to Gyökeres to run on like he's doing at Lisbon, no chance. Not in the Premier League. Teams are going to sit back. They're going to have Gyökeres in front of him. They're going to pass him along the back 4. He's going to come deep because he's frustrated. He's going to go wide because he's frustrated. He's no good wide. He's no good deep. We have it with Big Erling all the time. Then the players have got to say, get in the fucking box. I don't want Erling Haaland in Odegaard's space because he's ruining Odegaard's space because he's coming too deep. Then that's what I think. So it's anyone that thinks it's going to be easy. This is what I was trying to say in the Big Six, but you can't explain it because you just get shot down. I've seen it with Earl. And it's took a long time, and the goals mask a lot of things. Sometimes it's problems. And I feel like Arsenal, they've got a great goal scorer. Kai Havertz is important. Some games, we had to bring on Alvarez Take Haaland off. It wasn't working for him. Them defenders love playing against Earl, but they don't want fucking Alvarez buzzing around them. They don't want Kai Havertz coming on at 85 minutes and running in between the lines. So I feel like he's a great addition, but just it won't all be plain sailing. You know what I mean? I feel like he's going to get criticism. The press are going to kill him. Darwin Núñez in the Charity Shield scored the winner. Haaland missed a sitter who's getting bare shit. And Gyökeres going to get exactly the same. And all I'm saying is, he's a young striker, and I just didn't rate him. He's a good player, but I just think to me, does he make me scared of Arsenal with him? No. And you're going to laugh. I thought Sesko was the better option for Arsenal. I did. And I thought, I can see that Sesko there. It's nice, smooth attacking lines, Arsenal flowing football, a little intricate passes here and there. I can do it. When I seen Gyökeres at Lisbon, when I've seen him a couple of times, he just didn't. I don't know. I think he just needed it on a plate for him. But listen, I'm not going to criticise him. He's a fucking kid, but I'm prepared for the meltdown for it. We need to get the ball into Gyökeres. No one's giving him the service. We need to do this. We need to do this. But we'll see. And Arteta now, he's on his last chance saloon. If he doesn't win anything this season for me, I think he's gone. He's got to go. Mancini at the same at City. He won the league. The couple of seasons after, he was signing Scott Sinclair, Jack Rodwell. We decided it's time to go. And the fans went mad. How can you sack Mancini? He's won us the league. But then we got Pellegrini won the league. Then we got Pep. Arteta, he's turned the club from a laughing stock into title contenders. But there comes a time where you got to say, he's had your chance. Cut him dry. Bring somebody in.
I don't think we're going to have the Arteta conversation until the end of the season. I feel like at this point, we have it all the time, Steve. You know how it is. I know you actually rate Arteta, so I know you're coming from a place of
everybody at City, the players I spoke to, we did not want him to leave. Everyone was saying he's such a good man management, such a good coach. People were calling him the Cone Man. I said he'd be good. And like you say, but we've seen it before. Some managers are good, but they just haven't got that X factor to get you that little bit, you know. And that's
I don't think it's Arteta is the reason why we didn't beat you or Liverpool to the league over the last couple of years. Let's be honest, the team wasn't just good enough to beat City that first time. The second time we got close, but you could say mentality, you could say injuries, you could say whatever. But I really do think Arteta is the reason why we're even in these discussions and have built the team to the level that we have. So I'm not willing to just get rid of him yet. Of course, I'm going to give him the end of this season, and I do think we do get over the line, be it out of the league or the Champions League this year, hopefully.
If you don't, though, would you have to say you've got to have a change?
At this point, if we don't, then we definitely have that discussion at the end of the year.
Because you can't have a phase. This is phase, 6? There can't be a phase 7.
Yeah, it can't. And you know, I worked out as well today, guys, is that by the end of
if we pick up domestic trophies, then people are going to start believing in him more. So
£1 billion you would have spent, Igal, by the end of this window, roughly. At 6.5 years and $1 billion spent, he's got to win. He has to win.
Unfortunately, guys, that's the money is necessary to build up a squad.
Like the money
Chelsea, look at Chelsea.
$1 billion spent in 6 years.
Chelsea spent
crazy,
$2 billion. Chelsea spent $2 billion in almost 2 years. Or how many? 3 windows?
No, I know, but we know that Chelsea.
We can't pick and choose when we speak about money, though. That's the thing. When it comes to City, they get berated about money all the time. Chelsea have come and blown out everybody, spent way more money than all of us, our clubs, have ever spent.
No, but Gal, you know what's crazy?
It's just like it's normal.
No, but Chelsea are one trophy. I know it sounds crazy to say it, but even though they have spent a ridiculous amount of money, bro, they've still won 2 or 3.
If I was in the Conference League, we'd probably win it too. I'm not taking away from them, but they were in a lesser competition. The Club World Cup is impressive to me because they won.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, they just literally won a trophy 3 weeks ago, bro. Do you know what I mean?
If you know me, I think Chelsea are coming. I'm not worried about them right now, but in a couple years' time, they are going to be a serious threat.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's a good segue to finish up then, Joe. Chelsea. I involved Chelsea because I think they're involved. I don't know if Steve believes it as well. I think Chelsea are involved until they're not. They've got a good team. They play well. Maresca's got another year. Joe, talk to me. How do you feel about Chelsea's chances of winning this league, man?
Well, I'm just excited for this season. Let's just start for there. Like, this team is as exciting as we've had in 10 years probably, bro. Like, seriously, like it's been a long time since we've had this exciting of a team. and the prospect of us potentially being in this position after losing Roman is it excites me, bro. It really does, because like I didn't expect us, like especially with the way that it was moving early, that I didn't expect us to maybe get here this quickly. But here we are now, right? We spent the money, here we are now, and it's time to perform. Like I don't really have excuses this year. Like before, people were telling me, oh, you guys are not experienced enough. In my opinion, this team's experienced. They've been playing together for 3 years for most of the core. Like they've been all together, and now they have experience of armpits being raised, being seen. That's all I can ask for on a consistent basis from them, is to continue to show good performances in these cups and push the top part of the table as far as they can go. I personally think this year we might hurt some big teams in this Champions League and get very far. Like that's where I really think that we will be dangerous, in my opinion, is going to be in the Champions League. Because I think our style of play hurts most of Europe. Like I don't think a lot of Europe can handle our style of play most of it. It's when we run into one of y'all if we run into one of y'all, right? That's when it's really like a different type of situation. But like against the European teams that are out there, I will put us against anybody and say that we beating them in a 2-leg tie. Like literally, I literally feel that way about my football club. Like anybody who comes up against us in a 2-leg tie will have to deal with us. And like that's where our star shines, in my opinion. In my opinion, is in these type of tournament games with Cole. Like Cole shows up big time in these types of tournament games. So like that's just what I want to see. Like I want to see is push you guys as far as I can. I'm thinking around 85, somewhere around 85 to 90, somewhere around there is where I want us to be pushing. And that might not be enough to win it, right? That might not be enough to win it in the end, but that would be acceptable to me, right? Like that's where I see it being acceptable. And you've pushed forward in multiple areas, because I do believe in the Champions League we will have a really good run. So we're deep enough to do it, in my opinion as well. Like just squad wise in every position, we're very deep, and especially if we get the final 2 Dutch players that we're linked with, I think that every position really has 2 spots, 2 players in each spot at that point, and I think we're gonna have a good season, in my opinion. That's where I'm at. Like I think that it's gonna be like I have higher expectations than probably the rivals do about Chelsea, in my opinion, but I think we can do it. I don't think there's anything this squad talent-wise can't do at this point. It's just maturity. Is it there yet? Maybe not. Is our goalkeeper good enough? Probably not.
No,
but,
he's not.
Yeah, exactly. But probably not. But could he win a cup game?
Well, he did in the World Club.
That's the point. That's the point in the end. And that's kind of where my mind's all at with it all. It's like, can Robert Sanchez win us the league? Probably not.
I agree with you that you'll have a better Champions League run than the league run. I do actually agree with that. I think your style does worry European teams more so. Does anyone else on the panel think Chelsea are in it? Does anybody believe that we have to take them seriously, or are we being a bit premature?
So. No, I think so. I mean, with Chelsea, listen, it's hard work, because I go on as a City fan for the last 6 or 7 years. All I've been told is we've cheated. You've spent so much money. You've bought the league. You've done all this bullshit, right? But I can guarantee you this: if City had done some of the things Chelsea had done, i.e., selling the women's team, doing the hotels, getting caught financial fair play only a few weeks ago, paying a fine, then going to win the World Club Cup, it'd be a different narrative. Now, I think everyone should spend within the means. So for me, it should be a debt-based. If your club's in debt, you can't spend. But if your club's got an owner that wants to spend on his business, then for me, no problem. What don't sit right with me a little bit is you've got your Newcastles of the world who have a great season, and then they're pressured to sell. You've got your Villas of the world have a great season, they're pressured to sell. So I don't want to be detached from the rest of the league and thinking we're above it, because some things don't sit well. But what Chelsea have done is, last year when they bought players, I sat back and I thought, this is just literally a mismatch of players being bought with no sort of understanding and structure. You go and loan out Disasi, you go and try and get rid of Felix, and just bought them. I'm thinking, what's going on? Trevor Chabela's getting carted off. It was like, this is mad. But what I think's happened now is they've started to realise the Brazilian kid they bought from Palmeiras is a sensational player. Cole Palmer is a sensational player. They're now starting to add players around Cole Palmer that are starting to complement Cole Palmer. So they're actually looking like a team. Last season, it looked like a mismatch. Different centre-half combinations every game, full-back combinations. Yeah, they were all quality players, but it didn't look like a team. Now, they look like a team. Then you look at the players they've got, who they've bought from Lisbon, and they've bought Andre Santos, and the things they're doing at Strasbourg, what City are doing with the City group, they're now doing at Strasbourg. I don't think Chelsea's plan has been, we've got to win the league now. I think they're setting it up for like a domination period where all of a sudden they're going to get a generational team come in where it's going to be a 3, 4, 5 year Chelsea problem. So this season might be that you're going to start to see what we're about. But I think next season after, Chelsea are going to be a problem for a lot of people. 100%. I really think that.
100%. I'm an Arsenal fan. I hate Chelsea. They are going to dominate eventually because they don't give up. They're relentless. I see certain clubs, they sign a player in a position, they give him 2-3 years. Chelsea, if they see that the player is not worth it, they'll just sell him, bring in another player of equal or more value, and just keep going until eventually they get a couple more.
I think that's the superpower, though, right? The superpower at Chelsea right now is the capability of breaking even or making money on any player that they've already have or buy. Like they've literally, that's their superpower for the most part.
I don't know how you do it, if I'm being honest.
But that's the superpower in the end. That's the one thing that we have to our advantage, in my opinion. It's like, if you do not work out, we will find a spot for you in 2 years. Like you're gone in 2 years. They're finding a spot for Raheem Sterling. Who would have thought that? Like,
Steve made a great point.
The funny thing is, they buy Simons and Hato. If they don't work, they're just going to sell them to me or Man United or something else.
Because guess what? They're 19 and 22. So people still bet on the talent still, bro. People are still going to bet on the talent in different leagues. Like João Felix, everybody's killed João Felix. João Felix been handed around throughout Europe. Now we found another spot back to Benfica for him. He's going to go back to where he started.
I also don't think they're going to win the league. I think Chelsea are so good in cup competitions. They're going to win a couple of those. And it could be a possibility where they go and win the Champions League again before they win the league. Just because they're so lucky with their draws. They find ways to win when they're underdogs. The way they won the Club World Cup.
Yeah, you can tell us we're lucky with our draws, but
no, but look at how you won.
We had Madrid, Atletico Madrid.
No, it's not even an insult. It's more of a compliment because you find ways.
At the end, like
it's not an insult. It's a compliment. You find ways, even though you're underdogs versus Man City, underdogs versus Bayern Munich, to just get it over the line. And I got to give it up to you guys.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm just not scared of nobody.
And I think Maresca at City, he had the under-21s. They won everything. He's now assembling that under-21 team at Chelsea. 6 or 7 City players there. So, and what this does is he's bringing players in that dressing room that know him personally. So if there's anyone with an attitude in that dressing room who says, I don't rate this cunt, this Maresca is shit, they're going to go, hold on a minute, trust me, this guy's the real deal. I'm telling you now, he's sound. And then that's what happens. When you fill the dressing room and surround it with people that have got your back, all of a sudden everyone else starts going, oh, yeah, and they buy into it. It happened at Arsenal. Arteta had players, Ober and all that were disruptive. And he needed to change the dynamic in the changing room. So he flipped it. He got rid of them players. He brought his own players in, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, who'd been with him at City, who were loud in the dressing room. Nah, he's a good guy and all that. Chelsea are building something. They're building something there. And there's no pressure for them to win the league. Nobody's saying you must win the league. If anyone else, if Man City spend £2 billion, you must win the league. If Liverpool spend $2 billion, you must win the league. Arsenal the same. Chelsea.
Arsenal spent 800.
Well, yeah, but
with Chelsea, they're ticking along nice, and that's what worries me. They're ticking along nice, and like you say, I think in 2 years' time, Chelsea's going to be a handful, mate. A big handful.
They already
Yeah.
are.
I think every team we have the capability of beating you guys, all you guys this year. Like it's a game against you guys in this league this year is going to be a lot more interesting than it was in prior years, in my opinion. Like we're going to be coming at people. Like it's not going to be sit back Chelsea anymore. We're going to be coming at everybody this year. Like,
Hey, but I'll be honest.
Let me finish up by saying this thing, guys. Let me just, because I know we need to wrap up. I know we've got to go as old gal, and I've got some supers to get through. Predictions for first, second, third, fourth. I'll start. I personally think it's going to go Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Gal, what do you think?
I literally did this yesterday. I'm just going to double check what order I had City and Chelsea in. So I had Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City fourth, and that's just based on the fact that I believe Arsenal's defense is the best, and our attack is going to take that level up. Liverpool, even though you guys are going to be bringing all these players in, I just think it's going to be a situation where it might take them a year for the attack and everybody to get themselves sorted. And defensively, you still have concerns over what you're going to do. Man City, Chelsea, I still have concerns over Chelsea. They're still young. A lot of these guys still need to develop. And Man City, their defense worries. I think that's their biggest worry. And I think you can get at them defensively.
Steve, what would be your top four order, bro?
I think City win it. Liverpool second. Arsenal third. Chelsea fourth.
Interesting. And Joe, what would be your top four order, bro?
Pool, Chelsea, Arsenal, City.
Oh,
Arsenal.
wow. So we got 2 Liverpool, 1 City, 1 Arsenal.
They're not going to give a reason? I'm confused. Like,
Huh?
you guys are not going to...
I can give you a reasoning behind Arsenal if you want me to give you a reasoning behind Arsenal. Like that's no problem for me. I can absolutely do that. I don't think Arteta adjusts enough.
You think Chelsea's going to finish above Man City and Arsenal?
Yes, I think we have. I think we're the sleepers of the season, and Poole just adjusts off of the title. Like that's literally how I feel about our squad at this point.
All right, what about you, Steve? What are you saying?
I just think last season's not going to happen again. I think Rodri coming back in people are just dismissing that. He's a Ballon d'Or winner. Everything about Man City is Rodri. The last 4 titles, it's all Rodri. So we got him in. We got Erling Haaland. Spine of the team's decent. He's added Reinders, Cherki, Aït-Nouri, Mamouche and everyone around him. We got some good players and good options, and I think Pep will get it right this year. And I just think I'm happy to be not favoured. I'm happy for people to put on Liverpool because I think Liverpool are favourites, rightly so. I feel like they've got a great side. I feel like they've made some great signings. Wirtz is fantastic. And if they get Isaac and as well as Etitike, whatever he's called, I think I think you know they're looking good all over the park. But it's always hard to retain a title. You've got to go again. You've got to keep it sharp. I think I'm just looking forward to the season. I think it's one of them seasons where I think in your head everyone's leaning towards Liverpool, but we did that last year towards City, and then we thought Arsenal might do it, and then so I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. I just want to get the football back, and I don't think City have finished signing yet. I think we'll get a right back.
No, I agree. It's going to be extremely interesting, and I can't wait. I really can't. Let me just get through these super so I can end up. Once again, boys, really appreciate you lot's time today. It's been a great discussion.
I'm going to have to jump off.
Yeah, man. Big up, girl. Big up, bro. We'll talk soon, G.
What am I doing here? Listen, I'm an Arsenal fan. You're going to be part of the conversation.
What is it? Gal did here. A little shade there before Gal leave. But no, big up, G. Appreciate you jumping on, man. It's been a pleasure. Big up, Jay says, Fofana to Everton. Yeah, I heard this today. I can't believe that they're actually going to be able to.
They have a decent front line now with Barry. So if they get Fofana and then die, that's a decent front line, bro.
Yeah, but you know, it's Everton all day, but you know what I mean? But Jay says Rodrigo is asking for 500 a week. There's no way anyone's going to pay him that. That's crazy.
No chance.
City, Chelsea, no one's paying. I don't know if you guys have noticed, especially at Chelsea recently, clubs are starting to realize the wages are important, and it's no one's just throwing crazy wages at players.
That's why
anymore.
we can sell, Drifty. That's why we can sell, because everybody's on low wages, because then you can take them and they can double the wage. Somebody else can double the wages when they buy them.
Yeah, you know, it's true. I think Haaland might be the only one now at City on a big wage, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone else is on like a real. I mean, we probably
only have Sterling. Ours
now.
is only Sterling. We have only Sterling on 300K. That's it.
Yeah, ours is probably the only one, but ours, the Salah, Van Dijk, they deserve it. But yeah, it's everyone's bringing the wages
And they're short-term
down.
deals, anyways.
Yeah, no one's paying Rodrigo that much. Matty says, I'm calling it now. This is Arteta's last season. I know that would have rattled the gal a little bit if he was still here. And if he is sacked, will there be a decline at Arsenal? That's an interesting question. It depends who they replace him with, right?
Yeah.
That would actually depend who he replaces him with. But interesting, very, very interesting. But boys, it's been a pleasure, man. Appreciate you guys coming on. We'll have a talk. But I think when the window shuts and we know everybody that everyone's got, we can readdress where people think everyone will finish. Preseason will be done by then, you know what I mean? And we can have a chop up with that'll be a little bit more understanding of where we all are, do you know what I mean? And where we are moving forward. But again, people, make sure you go and join all of these guys. I'll put all of the links in the description to everyone's channel. Please make sure you go and show your love to the guys. Go and subscribe to their channels. Spread the word. If you haven't subscribed here, please make sure you do. Smash that like button on the way out, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I will be back on my channel at 7 for a manager debate. So make sure you come and join me for that one, guys. Until then, Steve, big up yourself, G. Joe, brilliant debut. Appreciate that. Obviously, we had Errol and the gal done well as well. People, we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.